KCAT studio artists take their place in society by being active members of the local, national and international creative community. So that's the loose theme of a slideshow and a little talk. So this is Andrew. Andrew is my compatriot in arms today, and he's going to join me on the stage. This is Andrew Pike. And Margaret Walker is also here today representing KCAT. Declan Byrne, Francis Casey down at the back row. And beside Francis is Julie and Sarah. And Julie, so I'm a studio facilitator, and Julie is a studio facilitator, and Sarah has joined us this year in support in the studio. And Andrew has a speech. You never told me this.
Somebody told me.
Okay. Right. So KCAT stands for Kilkenny Collective for Arts Talent, and we're based in a very rural community just outside Kilkenny City, in a place called Callan. Now, I hope I'm pressing the space bar. Okay, so a little like what was mentioned earlier, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, well.
And we started in
a very old sausage factory. It was very cold, and actually did print it on the cloth. And if you're very, very interested, you could come and look at an early little display we had years ago. And that was so cold, we even had cardboard under our feet. That's how cold it was. And you know, it's funny, it's grown ever since. So KCAT is an exclusive club. We do not exclude anybody. We make them into artists. And you know, our practice, we really actually work so hard, and I think our citizenship should take our place in society, because I think it's worth it, because we worked so hard. We had international exhibitions, and around at home, around Ireland as well. For over the years, mainstream artists have come and they go home, and they go station to the studio. They can't even compete with us, but sometimes they say, oh, what are we doing? So I say to people in the Crawford, thank you for the two exhibitions, outside and now the art of citizenship. Well, we are worth, I think all the artists with disabilities are worth it. They should be citizens of society, and I think we should be citizens and take the place. And I thank you again, asking us again down to Cork. Again. You hold on there, Andrew, because I'll ask you to join in a little bit later on, okay? This is the town of Callan.
And that's the building. So subsequent to the sausage factory, we got some EU Horizon funding, and we built this. It's a purpose-built centre, right by the King's River there, and that's right in the centre of Callan. So this is what it looks like today, with a large painting by Sinead Fahy there on the side of the wall. And this structure here was created by Mr. Casey in the back row there, and and another studio artist, Thomas Barron, in collaboration with two artist facilitators, Saturi Alonso and Alan Coonahan. And it's quite a substantial structure around our entrance door. So inside the building, we have courses.
Yeah,
And
we had a live horse then, and a lot of manure afterwards. We had to clean it out. So that's why we are a rural setting, because you know you have to shove the manure out onto the field.
And our courses we run for people from all backgrounds. It's a completely inclusive environment. We do all the fine arts subjects: sculpture, drawing, painting, 3D work. And then we have our artist studio. So our artist studio is where we support 14 artists to be artists. Otherwise, if they didn't have a space like a supported studio,
we
it would
wouldn't
be
be
very
able
difficult.
to be here as well.
Yeah, so you can come a bit close to them.
So really, this is a young man who's the seed and inspiration of KCAT. He did art in Campbell, Ballytoven, and the person who founded Ballytoven decided he needed a studio space. So they made a small one, and over the years he kept on making more and more art out of cardboard, stick it with sellotape, everything else. Cut these big, huge cardboard figures and stuck them together. And so finally, this is how KCAT came about. And it was through him and through his inspiration and his way of working and sharing his colour of beauty. And so, you know, that's how we are. And
that man's name is?
Georgie McCutcheon. And I think, you know, that is why we're striving so much, and people are coming to see us and they say, what? Have you done this? People of learning disability, those without, they come and they learn from us and we learn from them.
Yeah.
It's give and take.
We're looking at a few of the other artists in the studio. This is Mary Cody, Mr. Pike himself here.
Yeah.
Over in the corner then is Carl,
Yeah.
David, Declan. That's Declan. Yeah. Sinead. Carl again. Carl did some really lovely work for the Quiet Room in Carlow. Institute of Technology.
And Georgie again did a mosaic for health and medical sort of place, and he did this, and it took another week or a couple of weeks doing it. And they started to stick it on on paper, and then it was so massive they had to glue it on the back, and then they put another layer of paper and carried it out of the studio, and then eventually took this one.
So moving out into the local community and wider community, this is a project that Andrew himself and Sinead were involved with Macnas in Galway, who are a well-known street theatre organisation. And Andrew and Sinead did the design for the parade that they have every year in Galway, and then they brought the parade to the streets of Callan. Now the streets of Callan are quite narrow, so it was quite it was quite an event.
Well, it was quite a nightmare for me when I saw it in Galway. I said, how the hell are we going to get all these big floats down the top of Bridge Street? And they said, never mind. I said, go and measure the street. Stand in the middle of the road, actually. And he said, no, I'm not. I'm going to get a tape measure and I'm going to measure it. And he did. He measured it and they all fit it perfectly, like a glove.
So I moved on a bit too quickly here. So this is another festival that we've had, Trasna, which was more of a drama. We also have, alongside the arts, the visual arts, we also have drama and theatre. And this was a festival that we had that incorporated groups from all over the world. So including this wonderful drumming band from Japan.
Yeah.
This is more from the and this is our festival in 2009, so this was very much, it was our anniversary, 10 years anniversary officially established, and we went all out. And we involved very much the local community, which was quite an exciting and adventurous project to take on. So various other events that we've had. This is just a little picture. It's KCAT station that we had groups from Ireland and from Europe as well involved in it. We would have a very close cooperation with other organisations throughout Europe. And we try to collaborate as much as we can, but as everybody knows, funding can be a little bit of an issue there. But the EU has been very generous to us.
In the past.
So, and then in disseminating as well, it's really, really important. We document as much as we possibly can through book format. This is an exhibition from Works on Paper. Which was an exhibition that we had in the Butler Gallery in Kilkenny, featuring various artists, and there was a very nice publication produced from that. This is Art and Inclusion, the story of KCAT. This was also produced for our anniversary, and it is quite an extensive documentation of what we actually do and how we arrive there. With quite a few essays and things, and it was important again for us to be able to document and inform the wider
community. That's what we have tried to do. We communicate with the larger community in Callan, and they have responded. Some have really started to do things for themselves, and we hope that they will collaborate with us again on the On-Leaf Festival, which came out of the Big River Parade. So really, it is...
it had a lasting effect.
A lasting effect, because people say, oh yes, I remember that. I was about 6. We had a bunch of schoolgirls the other day, and one girl said, yes, I remember, I've been here, and they were looking around to see what art they would have in their school. The primary school did that a year ago.
So that was a commission.
That was the commission work for the studio, and then there again, people come and they learn from us. And now we're doing one commission work, maybe, for the girls' school.
So it's really interesting to see the knock-on effect. So through that commission from the primary school, so that was a commission of artworks by the studio artists that the children were involved in choosing as well. And so now the secondary school in Callan as well has, they've done some development work, and their percent for art, they've invited KCAT artists as well. But they were very keen that we would use the same kind of process where the students would be involved in the choosing of the work. So that's ongoing at the moment.
It is, and I think, the more we have exposure, even the ones who have disability, I hate the word outside the art, and I think we should abolish it altogether. And I think, and the labeling, we should call ourselves artists. And I'd like to say thank you again.
So moving on then to the wider and international, we, as much as possible, we try to go to the outside world. So not just stay in our own internal space, but that outside world can be within Ireland, nationally, it can be in Europe. And this is a trip that we made it was an exchange that we made with a group from Perth in Australia, from Fremantle. And it was a very, very exciting trip. We went out there for over 3 weeks. So it was an opportunity to create work, but also to experience. Andrew was on that trip as well, and this is Lorna in the photo. Lorna was particularly taken with Aboriginal art, and to this day she uses elements that she discovered through that work in her work today. So are in Sydney, 63 floors up. Very exciting. And this is the group from Dada that, Dada then came over to Ireland and did the same thing. So we had an exchange, practical exchange with them. So this was an exhibition opening that we had in Kilkenny, and the Australian ambassador kindly opened it for us. She was very supportive as well. So again, I'll just fly through some of these. This is quite an interesting one now, because this has developed into a project that that's an ongoing project with us now, and it's called Engagement. And it's where each studio artist is paired up with an artist from outside of KCAT and working in the wider community. And this would have been one of the first trips that we made to Temple Bar Gallery, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And out of that came Andrew's collaboration. Andrew invited Neville Lahart. So if you'd like to say a little bit about that, maybe?
Well, we started not planning very much. We just talked and said, yeah, we'll do this, we'll do that. And I went home and I started drawing a few things. And he said, oh, no, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to do a wall. I will do something else. And we started to say, what about political nonsense? So we started doing a political nonsense about the parties. And I said, well, what are we going to do? So he started saying, right, you voting forms, we did that. We got a polling station for toddlers, and we told them you could spoil your vote if you don't like the party or not. But then we had one party, no party at all. So really, it was fun doing it. And actually, the ex-mayor of Kilkenny opened it, and he's a politician himself, and he laughed his head off. He thought it was very funny. And there was a mainstream one in the party would say, what the earth is this artist saying? Because some of the politicians need a swift kick in the backside, I think. And, I say to the Minister of Sport and Leisure and Art, to give us some bloody money for once.
So this is Nevin here in the blue, that's collaborating with Andrew, and the lady in the black top with the glasses is collaborating with Margaret, and that's Anna Spearman, who's collaborating with Margaret at the moment. So each studio artist will eventually pair up and work in some way. There's no fixed way in how they would work together. It could be a particular collaboration. It could be literally working together like you did with Nevin. It could be an idea that they may both come up with and they will work separately on it. There's no fixed way in which this collaborative thing could happen. It could also happen from afar. So where they might correspond by email or post or whatever. There's no fixed way in which it will happen. No. And eventually it will come together in one large exhibition, we're hoping, either next year or the year after. So that's the pair of them.
Messes, bunch of messes.
And Francis recently had a large exhibition, his retrospective exhibition. Francis is working a lot in paint at the moment, but he has in the past done the most magnificent sculpture pieces as well. And with his family at the opening, it was a very busy opening and well attended. Now, Lorna recently had her own solo show in the Art House in Laois. Again,
Elizabeth Cope is aunt, and she
Elizabeth
opened it.
Yes. So the two gentlemen collaborating here. There was quite a bit involved in that collaboration, actually, than appeared in the end result, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just some views of exhibitions, recent exhibitions. It's really, really important that we show work. It's how you engage others. It's important that you would engage others with the work, but also with the people who create.
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing what KCAT is good about. You know, we say, okay, we're going to have this exhibition now, and we set to it, and then we say, what? You know, this year we had so many. After this one, there's going to be another one, and so southwest of Cork, in Ballyvorney.
And the most recent one then was this is your show collaboration as well with, well, maybe you might like to talk about that in Damer House.
Well,
that was an interesting collaboration.
It was an interesting collaboration. The curator of the museum, both of them came and visited KCAT. And they looked around and they said, yes, I like this work. And then they came back again and they said, right, this artist we want to have up on the wall. And I said, what, me? And they said, yes, you. So, okay, and then I had a retrospective a year before and I had a few of my pictures framed. So then actually we put it all together and sent it to Damer House, and it was really well received by the people in Musgrave.
But it was another example of that collaborative from engagement, where the Thierry and Patricia, they're curators. So it was that collaboration, that type of collaboration was also important, that it wasn't only a making kind of collaboration. This is a show that we had in Galway Art Centre, The Laughing Heart.
Yeah.
This work that you see behind is by Carl.
Yeah. He had the whole wall to himself.
You see there, the two walls opposite. And Declan's work there on the plinths, and you'll see Declan's work in the Crawford as well, in this current show.
Yeah.
This is Declan at work, very meticulous. There's Jason, Fergus, Eileen.
Yeah. There's Margaret.
Again, Thomas, Declan.
Yeah. And Sinead. And
sorry, I need to go back. I went too fast there on you. Francis, Jack,
and
Thomas again.
Yeah,
so they're the studio artists, some of the studio artists there.
Together. Yeah.
I'll just move on through. Yeah. Okay, we're probably tight on time here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just run through. So that's KCAT Art and Study Centre. Thank you for listening.